Hey folks, it's Lauren from Snowy's here with the Dogbox Lumoclip Rechargeable Micro Light.
Hit it.
Packing a massive 400 lumens. This little light has 2 brightness settings lasting up to 4 hours, and it even has a little bottle opener. Hold up fam, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any awesome content on the Snowy's channel. Let's get into it. Now this little light doesn't seem like much, but it packs a punch, and it's an awesome little add-on or stocking filler for you. Now the dimensions are about 6 centimeters tall by about 5 centimeters across, and it weighs about 40 grams, so it's nice and light. We've got this little LED lighting panel on the front here, and whilst I don't know the exact materials, I'm pretty sure this is like a cast powder coated aluminium frame around it. Now it is a USB rechargeable light, so it does come with your cable like so that has a USB-C connection. And on the side here, under this little silicon USB panel, we've got our charging input port with a small little indicator light, which is pretty handy to have that charge indicator factored in there as well. Now the top of the light has got this little spring-loaded hook, so obviously you can use it as a loop to go over hooks, or if you need to push it through like a little webbing loop inside your tent or things like so, it's just quite a simple little click down. On the little corner here, some of you may already have guessed, but it's a nice little bottle opener section. Now on the bottom, interesting little addition here, because it won't be relevant to a huge amount of people, but this is a standard tripod screw in or bolt. So if you're someone who uses, you know, any GPS mounts or GoPro or anything like that, where you might have a little tripod already, it will screw directly into the light here. And on the side is our little power button, which I'll run through in a minute. On the back here, we have a couple of extra features, which is pretty nifty. The one in the middle, obviously being the magnet. Now that will require you to have steel or steel composite awning poles or surfaces in your camp kit. Could even potentially be the side of your car as an example. And also we've got this little loop here on the back. Now, as you can see on the top, we've got some little ridges. It's not spring loaded, but those little ridges will sort of lock it into place in the multiple positions that this will open to. So this is really handy because if you want to set it up, say on a table, it allows you to just pop your little light up like so, and that will stay upright. But it's also really nifty because if you do want to hang it up inside a tent, something like this, obviously your light's pointing sideways, whereas if you then want to use your little tab like so, you can hang it onto the hook inside of a tent, and that means that the lighting is going to be pointing downwards. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example of how that will work in this swagger tent. Now in a minute I'm going to turn the lights off to show you the brightness, but just for now, as you can see inside this little swagger, we've got our lantern hook here. If I'm hanging the lighting up like so, that's going to just be ultimately lighting up half of the tent. This is going to be really handy if you want to use your light inside of a swag, for example, because you will find that in swags, your little lantern hook is going to be on the end, in which case it's a perfect position for it. But coming back to the middle of the tent on a lantern hook, you're going to want to hang it up like so. Now, obviously the weight of it is a little bit imbalanced here. It's just going to be a matter of clicking to try and get that right level that you want your little light to be sitting at inside the tent. So back to the power button on the side here. Now the light, as I've mentioned, only has 2 functions. So the first, it's literally just as simple as clicking up to get your first function on, which is your 400 lumens. Now at this particular setting, it's high and it will run for about 2 hours. Clicking it again will take us through to our medium setting or our low setting, and that's 160 lumens, and it will run for about 4 hours. Clicking it off again, and that obviously just turns your light off. So it's really simple and easy, quick click through. So I'll just turn off this light here and show you how bright it is. So I'll turn this one on first so we're not in complete darkness. So this is the high setting. Now I'm just going to lean back here and hold it on the end of the tent like so. As you can see, if you're inside of a swag, for example, and this is where your light's sitting, it's going to cast quite a lot of brightness over the space and give you more than enough light for even reading a book, things like that. Clicking it down to the medium setting, It's just a little bit gentler. I reckon you could still read under this light, say in a swag, if it's right over your head, but otherwise it just gives you enough light to sort of see what you're doing, tuck yourself into bed, all of that sort of stuff. So moving on to, I'll put it back on the high setting and we'll suspend it like a lantern. And that will give us that brightness shining down. And as you can see, that really illuminates the space. So in something like this Swagger, which I'm pretty sure is the 3P version, you've got loads of light here. You can definitely read regardless of sort of where you're sitting within the tent. And it's going to be lighting up a space even bigger than this fairly easily, I would say. And we're gonna go down to the medium as well. Where are we? This little button on the side. Right, so that's the medium setting. Now my eyes are a little bit bright, blotched out in here because this light's really packing a punch. But as you can see, even on the medium setting, not sure really without having a book in here whether or not you could read by it, but it's certainly more than enough light to get into bed, pack your gear up, sit in here, play cards even with a mate, do whatever you normally would want to do at night in a tent. So that is about it for the Dogbox Lumoclip rechargeable micro lantern. You can get this at snowies.com.au at our low prices every day.